Hi guys, Gary Lineker has won. He has beat the Tories and the BBC, it seems. He is to be reinstated as host for Match of the Day. And hopefully we can move on from this distraction the Tories have been using to hide the disaster they have inflicted upon the British people. And the Gammonati will not be happy, but when are they ever? So many were hoping that this would bring an end to Lineker's career and perhaps stop him from talking about important issues like human rights. Here Sky News has the breaking story.
Sky News can confirm that Gary Lineker has an agreement with the BBC. He will be returning to presenting. There is to be some form of apology from the BBC, which on Friday did drop him from programming, that unprecedented move, which meant Match of the Day aired on Saturday night with no presenter, no pundits, and no commentary even over the Premier League matches, and so much disruption across BBC radio output as well for sports coverage with no presenters. But Gary Lineker, he had been determined to defend his right to be able to post on political matters. It was a week ago almost, he posted criticising the government's policy on migration and the Stop the Boats campaign. Gary Lineker was then taken off the air on Friday, and since then his team has been in talks with the BBC about a resolution to this, and we understand that in the last 24 hours this now has been reached. We are expecting, as early as this morning, an announcement formally from the BBC that Gary Lineker will be able to return to presenting, as he has done for more than 2 decades for the corporation, in that successful transformation from a playing career with England, Tottenham, Leicester and Barcelona to becoming the face of football on the BBC. And there is due to be live FA Cup action this weekend that Lineker would be expected to be presenting. But Gary Lineker did stand firm in his beliefs. He was backed with that solidarity from his colleagues at the BBC, with many of the presenters refusing to take to the air as he was taken off presenting duties. But now Sky News does understand that Gary Lineker will return to hosting football on the BBC.
And there we have it. Wonderful. Now, at the time of this recording, it doesn't seem to be the case that anyone from the BBC is actually going to resign over this matter. Now, why did the BBC do this? I believe it's because of pressure from the Conservative government. Gary Lineker criticised the Tories, and this, of course, this shines a massive light on the corruption at the very top of the BBC and the Conservative Party. Remember, the current head honcho at the BBC helped Boris Johnson, it's claimed, to get access to £800,000. He donated to the Conservative Party. Boris Johnson put him in place there. This is extremely embarrassing, and they don't want to talk about this. And this, unfortunately for the BBC, has been highlighted. You know, if they had ignored this, if they had ignored Gary Lineker, we wouldn't be talking about this today. We wouldn't be talking about the corruption. Many people would be talking about it, many people would not. But it highlights the corruption at the very top. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone's going to resign over this. They had hoped that it would go away by itself. But Gary Lineker has such a massive platform, and Gary Lineker is in a position where he can walk away. He can't be quietened. He can't be threatened. And that's probably what the plan was. The Tories said, look, you know, we can't have Gary Lineker criticising us, threatened to pull the plug on him. That's probably what happened at the very top. I don't know whether it was Rishi Sunak, but definitely somebody within the government put pressure on the BBC to punish Gary Lineker. And it backfired spectacularly because they didn't know who they were dealing with. They thought that, okay, we'll put a bit of pressure on him. He'll back down. He'll apologize. He'll say, oh, I'm sorry for making these comments, and then we can move on. But Gary was not willing to do that. And his co-hosts as well were not willing to do that. They were willing to back him to the hilt. And it was wonderful to see. You have the BBC back down, and you have the Tory government embarrassed by their own actions. I think it's important that this saga comes to an end now, that normal programming resumes in a sense politically, because the focus has to be on Tory policies and how they're affecting ordinary people, because this has been a week-long distraction. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.